and welcome back to another powerful episode of Bao, the podcast where we honor the stories, the struggles, the strength of African women in diaspora. So tonight, we're turning up the heat and bringing a phenomenal woman and an equally inspiring man beside her to the hot seat. She's a Nigerian-born American woman of many talents, an entrepreneur, a published author, an event compère, a devoted mother of two, and a full-time professional in the corporate world. But what truly makes this story shine is the quiet strength behind the scenes. Her husband, a partner who supports her, who travels the world with her and shares in the vision of building a life filled with purpose, with passion, and global adventures. This is more than just the American dream. It is the African woman's dream in the diaspora, fueled by love, partnership, and relentless determination. So, guys, ladies, grab your tea, settle in, and join us as we dive into the joys, the challenges, and real truth behind a multifaceted life and doing it together. So, thank you for coming tonight, Sheung and Damola.
Thank you for having
Welcome.
us. Thank
Thank you for
you.
having us. We're really excited to be on.
I am excited to have you on now. It means that we have three people with the same surname on this podcast
Oh,
tonight.
yes, we sure do.
That's insane.
Yes, I just realized. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So, welcome home. This is your home. This podcast is your home.
Absolutely.
And so, I'm going to dive in straight and ask your husband, Mr. D, as I call you. Can you tell me about your wife? As you know, Bao is the Black and Woman. That's what it stands for. And we're here to tell the story of Black women, their journey, their achievements, their joys, their challenges. So it is my honor to ask you to tell us tonight about your wife, though it is about the two of you.
Mhm.
But she brings you to the hot seat tonight.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you again, my favorite auntie, for this for this
Woohoo!
for this
Awesome.
opportunity. For this opportunity, we really appreciate it.
You're
And
welcome.
I'm really just so impressed and proud of you for even doing this. Like I said, you've motivated me, so thank you again for that. So
Thank
let
you.
me introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen,
Woo! Drum
my beautiful
roll.
wife, Sheon. Yes, same surname, Adegoke. Yes.
Yes.
Though most people online know her as Sheon Compare. She's not just an MC, right? She's a
mm,
master of the mic. I've
mm,
watched her light up rooms, captivated crowds, and turn
mm.
events into an unforgettable experience.
Amen.
From her high profile, weddings to corporate galas to faith-based celebrations. She what she does is kind of brings a unique blend of charisma, class,
Mm.
and connection.
Awesome.
So she overall just
Charisma, class, and connection.
I
connection.
Ooh,
love it. See,
I'm
see, see.
making
you
notes.
know
Awesome. Awesome.
so she really brings all those, especially all these events that I go with her. Those are the things that I see, how she connects the crowd and people from different backgrounds that don't know each other. How you can see people, they might
mm,
have a long day, but after that event you can just see how the smile on their face, and what she's done. She believes that the mic belongs to everybody, right?
mm,
And trust me,
mm,
when she's on stage, she makes everyone feel like they're a part of the moment. She's
mm.
not just doing her job; she's living her purpose, and I couldn't be any prouder of my wonderful, beautiful wife.
Oh,
See
your
see the way it's gassing me up.
babe.
Oh, my head is swelling.
Oh,
Oh,
son, it's true. Do you need a hair tie to wrap it
in
to
fact,
contain
I'm
it?
like, is it me they're talking about?
Yes, yes, yes. And I thought I know you, but who knows you better than the
Of
man
course.
right next to you? And there
Yeah.
is something about that mic that he said, and I thought there is something else about that mic, the fashion of the mic.
Yes. 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 I
Incredible,
love that.
incredible. And that is not all that you are, Sheung.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what is it that you do, your
Hmm.
day job
Yes.
or your other hats that you
Yes.
wear?
Yes, I wear many multiple hats. I'm a business owner. I own, and juggle multiple businesses, from, real estate, etc. In addition to that, I also work 9 to 5. I've refused to quit my 9 to 5, no matter how great my MCing business or any other business I have is thriving. I just choose to keep it, just for security. I like that security net. So I am an executive at work. I'm a top manager at work. I also am a mother. I'm a mother of two. I have two beautiful babies, Jaden and Araya, age 10 and 8, a boy and a girl. And I'm an author. I recently published my first book,
Woo, woo.
which is a children's book.
Mm,
So many hats that I juggle. And, I
mm.
don't know why I thought it would be a good idea to add more to my plate. I decided to start, creating my first ebook slash masterclass, to
Mm,
kind of help, with to kind of teach people public speaking. So those are
mm.
one of the many things that I have coming up this year as well. So yeah,
That is amazing. And there
yes.
is something about that book, it's about building confidence. Can you remind
Yes.
us of the title of the book?
Yes, the book that I wrote is a kid's book and it's called Shy Girl Big Stage. And so
Shy
basically,
girl.
it's a book that, I hope it empowers young girls or boys. I heard that the boys have been loving it too. So let's just say kids. I hope that it
Yes,
empowers
yes.
kids to
And
find their
and
voice.
adults, yeah,
And
and not
adults,
just kids, and
yes.
adults too, and
And
adults.
adults, yes, correct.
Yes,
Because I've had many adults read the book and tell me, man, you don't even know how this book changed my life. I'm like, ah.
that's
It
incredible.
was written for age 8 and up, but carry on.
Of course, and of course, and the life that you're living is a life of purpose, and the
Yes.
passion shows and it oozes. Like your husband said, you own the mic, and fashionably so as well. So,
Yes.
and this fashion of the mic, I was thinking about it. I thought, who is the creative genius behind that branding? This fashion of the mic.
It is me. So one
Woo!
thing I've always learned in business is that you are your own business card, and the way you dress is the
Mm,
way you will be addressed. And so
mm,
whatever you're selling, even if you're frying akara on the streets, I still think you should dress well, look good, show up and
mm.
show out. And so I carry that, mindset in everything that I do at work as an MC. I believe that I am my own business card, and I believe that, dressing well, looking good, showing up and showing off,
It's show
people.
business.
Yes,
Mm.
it's show exactly. It's showbiz after all. And so people want to see those things and people buy
Mm,
actually into that even on its own. Like, oh, I love the
mm.
way you dress. Like, I know that you're going to come to my events and you're going to dress well. And I'm like, ah, wow, talk about pressure, but okay. So yes, that's really what that's what that is
Yeah,
about.
and I also
Mm,
think it's also like her business card, right?
Yes.
mm.
Is the way she, some ladies they sometimes they look for others to motivate them to dress a certain way, or even give them something to be like, oh man, I like that dress. Let me look. Where did she get it from? Kind of give them a little
Mm,
tip on where they can get. So I think it was a great when she brought that idea. I was 100%
mm,
supportive of it because I just felt like it was a really great
mm,
way to kind of again show what you are
mhm.
and other things that you love to do that can interest other people other than the mic stuff. So
Yes.
awesome
Mm,
Yes.
mm.
as far
I
as far as
love that.
fashion.
Yes, what a winning combo. The mic and the fashion. And I love
Yes.
what you said, and I love the way you put it. The way you dress is the way you're addressed.
Yes. Absolutely.
So that's something to hold on to, and maybe to encourage every other women out there listening tonight dress up, boost
Yes.
your own confidence and show up the way you want
Yes.
to be dressed. So
Absolutely.
yes. So we're going to flip the role
Okay.
now. Are you going to tell me about your husband? Now, I'm gathering my gele to wrap my own head as as you're describing him. As you know, I'm also Adegoke, so I want my
Yeah.
head to swell. So no pressure. You are the
No
compare.
pressure.
You're the
Pressure is
compare
real.
anyway.
Exactly. All right. Thank you for that. Now it's my turn to introduce my husband, the man behind the scenes. I call him the calm in my chaos, the strategy
Mm.
behind my sparkle, the one that always
Oh.
keeps me grounded
Don't
and
stop.
Woo!
lifted. He said, "Don't
Woo!
stop." Okay, let me keep
Woo!
going.
Don't
The
stop.
one
Don't
that always
stop.
keeps me grounded and lifted, at the same time. So yeah, my husband is Emmanuel
Mm.
Adegoke Damola, or Emmanuel, whichever you like. But yeah, it's Emmanuel Adegoke. And beyond the titles, I would describe him as a man of integrity, wisdom, and strength. He reminds me always that excellence is a standard, and so I apply that in everything that I
Mm.
do. He's a very, very successful engineer, trained, college educated engineer, and so he also works and juggles multiple businesses as well, spanning from real estate to trucking, etc. So he's very busy. But one thing I love about him is that
Mm.
he finds time, even in his very. Sometimes I'm looking at him like, how are you able to follow me to this event? Like, he will find time.
Mm.
Sometimes it's flying from, work and following me back out the next day, going back to
Mm.
that same airport and flying out somewhere else with me to go host. So he's a very
Mm.
busy man, and he just, he prioritizes me and our kids and our family in general. So yeah, that's a short
That
description of him. I'm proud to be his
wow.
partner and even
Woo!
prouder to introduce him.
Yeah.
Yay.
So as also Mrs. Adegoke, I'm going to add one more. you
Okay.
know. So he is the wing or the wind behind the sails.
Yes, he really is. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Incredible.
I agree.
So we give it to you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you for looking after this beautiful, powerful woman that God has blessed you with. The Bible says that when you find a wife, you find favor, you
Yes.
know. And I
Absolutely.
came across something yesterday was saying this minister of God, as soon as he married his wife, his life just boom with blessings.
Yes.
Yes.
Is it any wonder? If you're doing the right thing, what you're doing for your wife, supporting her, and she said something, she said, he chooses me. And I think that is the key word that is missing
Yes.
in a lot of marriages today. So kudos to you all. And I
Thank
have
you.
to say, as a cheerleader of your home, I sit back, I see you from afar, and this life that you're building together, it's so sweet and it's so beautiful to behold.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
And
you.
I love you, totally,
We love you too.
wholeheartedly, and everything that you are, the babies, all of you, I love you so
We love you
Love
completely.
too.
we
Thank
love you
you.
more.
So,
We love you.
yeah, thank you so much. I mean, and I know that it can't all be rosy,
Oh no.
not without challenges and
Of
sacrifice.
course.
So tonight we're going to dig in, and at what cost? Perhaps other people can learn from where you've come from, your challenges, how you've overcome them, how you juggle things, things that you've alluded to already at the beginning of this conversation. So tell me, how do you build a global life? Not just a career, and I'm sensing in my head or in the spirit, whatever we want to call it, that
Mhm.
your global life is going to boom. You know, from the mic to the fashion to fashion house and
Yeah.
other things, master classes, like you
Mhm.
said, and a host of other things, and to politics. Things I'm sensing already. So, you're not just building a career. How are you doing it? And
Mhm.
especially as a team. you're not just balancing roles, you're building a lifestyle that transcends borders. uh and as a couple, you travel together, as you said, you grow professionally, you raise a family while you still showing up fully in your purpose. What does it take to cultivate a partnership where both of you thrive and
Yeah,
not just survive in a high performance global life? So
absolutely. So
take it away.
I'll start the question. So it's two questions. You said one is how do you build a global life? And then the second part is how do you cultivate a partnership?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I'll answer the first one, and then he'll answer, the partnership piece of things. But as far as like building a global life, I think that starts with vision. For me, it was always about refusing to be boxed up in one location, one identity, or one version of success. I've always known that my calling and gifts weren't meant to ever stay local. So that meant, to travel, to connect, to impact, across borders. But practically speaking, a global life takes intentionality. It means saying yes to opportunities that stretches you. It means being willing to invest in experiences, in relationships, and environments that opens your mind and spirit. And so my work as an MC, my background and, even in my 9 to 5 and in just all the other hats that I wear as wife and mom, it's pushed me to just think globally while staying grounded in who I am. And I think it also takes faith. It doesn't just, it's not just about chasing opportunities. You have to pray through those
Mm,
opportunities. I trust that God didn't give me this life just to stay small. So for,
mm,
every time I step into a new opportunity or calling or culture or just anything, I try to do it with boldness and, with gratitude.
mm.
So I think it isn't just about where you go, it's about how you show up and when you get there.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
That's beautiful. I love that. God has not given me this life to stay small, you
Yes.
know. So that's incredible. You
Yes.
have to have the perspective, you have to have the dream before
Mhm.
you can even step out to go and pursue
Right.
anything, you
Exactly.
know.
yep.
Mm,
And then the second part of the question.
So yeah. So the really for me, I think the key number one is communication, right? Uh,
mm,
I mean, we personally communicate very well, right? That's been the ground kind of thing of our relationship. We're each other's best friend, and I think that has really helped evolve again from the dating scene to getting married to having kids.
mm,
Communication has been having great, not just communication, but an effective and great communication. I think has really helped us. Even through the ups and downs. Maybe business ups and downs, personal ups and downs, whatever. Just having to come back and be like, and knowing what each other is thinking, and knowing when each other is not feeling well. Just communicating very well and understanding each other, I think has really been very helpful. Really to kind of just to be able to even survive, right, in this type of realm.
mm,
We have so much
mm,
from just like she alluded to previously. I, it's not been very easy for me because I have my own thing that I'm doing, right? I have my own business, I have my own stuff, but I know how important this is to her, right? Of
mm,
her wanting to build her dreams. So I have to make some sacrifices. I'd rather, after traveling, like she said, I rather just want to come home and sleep. But
mm,
I understand this is what she wants to do, and this is what makes her happy. So I chose to sacrifice my time to
mm.
make her dream come true, right? To see
Amen.
her
Amen.
happy, and that in
Mm,
turn makes me happy, right?
mm,
Because
mm,
again, I could just like I flew back the other night, I could just say, "Oh, next day I just want to sleep all day." No, I know
mm.
she has to fly out. I'm willing to get on the flight again.
And you
So
flying
so
together.
to flying together.
Mm,
So I also
mm,
see it. So you can say, "Ah, man, you're sacrificing. You're not really having a lot of time for yourself." So I
mm.
also see it as a way to spend time together,
That's it.
right?
You're
It's a way
spending
to
time
yeah. I
together.
even call it in
Mm.
my mind. I see it as date night,
Yes.
even though she's technically working, whatever. But I see it as a way for
Mm-hmm.
me and her to get
Mm-hmm.
away from our
Mm.
regular lives and
Mm,
have
mm,
spend
mm.
time with each other. So
I love that.
I switched my mindset as me not wasting my time. No, the time is used to spend time with my wife. For
Mm.
example, this weekend we're gonna be in Mexico. I looked at it as, hey,
Mm.
mini vacation. But even
Oh,
though she's
can I
working,
come? Can I come, please?
Please come. Please
so
come.
Yeah.
so I think again, just us being again, just quick summary of being best friends, communicating very well,
Mm.
and being
Mm.
intentional, and understanding
Mm.
to each other's goals, and being supportive, and seeing it as the positive
Mm.
thing is
Wow.
extremely huge. Sometimes we don't
Mm.
always agree on things, just like most
Mm-hmm.
couples, but we talk. We'll talk about it. We listen to each other,
Mm.
apologize, forgive, laugh, and all that type of stuff. And then just make
Awesome.
sure we're each other's biggest cheerleaders, right? Just
Amen.
like I'm supportive in her business, in my businesses too. She's there and extremely supportive. We're in each other's corner
Mm.
in every area. There's some nights that she goes to do an event and she's not really feeling it. She's not feeling the crowd. She's not feeling whatever. But you can kind of just I'm there to kind of be there, like, hey, you did a good job. Just support each other in that way,
Mm.
and we
The
just make sure.
wind in the sail. You keep
Yes,
on going.
Exactly as you
Fan
said
the
it.
flame. Fan the flame.
Yes.
Fan the fire into flame. I love that. And I love where this conversation is really going. If I don't know you, Damola, I will say you're reading my notes. Honestly, because you touch on two key words which are next in line, literally right here: intentionality
yep, intention. Yep,
behind building a supportive marriage.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
And you've already touched on it. So you make up your mind
yep.
that you're going to enjoy being in the presence of your wife.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And our happiness, can I just say, looks good on you.
Yes.
Thank
Looks
you, thank you.
good
Thank
on you.
you.
And you are on permanent dating. You've
Yes,
been you've been married for so many, how many years? 11, 12.
13. It's gonna be 13 this
13.
year.
13 years.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
God.
Well, I'm judging by Jaden, who is almost a
Exactly.
teenager.
Pretty much, yes.
Wow. So if you still get to do life together, and you're enjoying it, not enduring it. And those
Yes,
That's
are
big.
key things about marriage.
yes,
Whether it's sweet or bitter, you just show up, you turn up, and roll up your sleeve,
yes,
and you enjoy it together. And I think it's the intentionality behind it. You choose to support your wife,
yes.
therefore you enjoy the process, you
Absolutely.
know,
Yes,
and you get to the journey, and you fanning her into flame. So yeah, that's so key. Now there are other things on here. We just skip them and go straight, because I think you've already touched on them, and I love the way you went about it. So thank you. In your ambition together, your parenting, your choices as a unit, and I love something which I've seen on Sheun's profile somewhere, where you say, always choose your peace. I love that mantra. The two of you, it shows that you choose the peace of each other.
yes,
Yes.
And I think it's very scriptural as well. It says
yes,
preferring one another.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
So whatever she's doing, that's your thing. Whatever he's doing, that's your thing. And you choose it, you are intentional.
Yes.
So my next question is, so many people see the results, of what you're doing, but not the teamwork behind it.
uh-huh,
Mm-hmm.
uh-huh,
So the support that you give to each other in
uh-huh.
your marriage, you've alluded to it as a husband. How again do you show up for your husband, Sheung?
I yes, so as you can see, he shows up for me a lot, like, in many different ways. How do I show up? I show up in by being there for him when he needs to talk. life is not all bees and, birds and roses and just flowers,
Mm,
Sometimes we do go through storms, occasionally, rarely, or whatever frequency. So I try to show up for him by being that support system, being a shoulder for him to cry on if he needs to, and just being there for him. And, and also I show up for him by helping. I'm definitely his helpmate. Like, I was brought onto this earth to help him, and
mm,
I was helpmate. And so there are times that he's needed my help to navigate through some storms or some things in life. And I come up with ideas or just ways or solutions
mm,
for him to take that, that can help those bring those ideas to life. So
mm.
those are some of the ways that I show up. And then of course just being, a great mom, because
Yeah.
a man needs peace. He needs to know that, okay,
Mm,
well, I know this is supposed to be expected, but you'll be surprised at how many men cannot even trust their own wives to run the home and take care of the family. One
mm,
thing I know that he knows is that I got it. Like, I can handle everything.
mm,
I can handle running the home. I can handle running, taking care of our kids. And so even if he has to travel, which he does travel quite frequently, he knows that his home is a well-run machine. Like, nothing is gonna go wrong.
mm.
So I think having that trust in me as well, I think that's some of the ways that I show up.
That's
Indirect.
incredible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's directly as well.
Yes.
As a woman, especially a cultural woman in our
Mm-hmm.
tradition, there are traditional roles, societal expectation of a woman, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how you show up as well.
Yes. Yes.
Because your husband being a husband and a father,
Mm-hmm.
is relying on also partly on the mother of the home to
Right.
keep the clog, well oiled. And
Mm-hmm.
that is how you also show up. I mean, I don't know
Yes.
about your husband. My husband, he cooks very well. I mean,
Ooh, yummy.
yes, yes. He cannot compete with this top chef anyway. No, not anytime. But
Oh,
he can
I've tasted
cook.
your food. I know that food is good.
Very good.
Very delicious.
So he can also cook. But when we're talking about men generally, I mean, and I know that you also cook because I've been
Yes.
in your home before and well fed and, great on point hospitality.
Mhm.
So without your expertise in that area, do you think your husband is going to be able to feed himself?
Without my expertise, like in cooking.
Yes, in that area, in the home front.
I mean, he can make breakfast foods like
Oh, okay.
like
Okay,
bread
so
and fry some
okay.
eggs and boil eggs. He can boil water for tea. Uh,
Ah, you made the kettle boils
he
the
knows how to
water.
plug it, turn it on, and produce hot water.
Of
But yes,
course.
I think he can survive, on breakfast foods, which is a win.
Yes, absolutely,
Better than nothing.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, we know some men can cook to save their own life, and it's
Oh
good
yes,
that you also show up in that way.
yes, in that way.
I mean, in today's world, you have so many other opportunities and facilities. You can batch cook
Oh
in the
yes,
freezer and stuff
and
like
throw in
that
the
to save
freezer.
you time, and everyone can warm their own food. And if you're not there, especially because of the nature of or your work,
Yes.
how you travel and how busy you are,
Mm-hmm.
and like even the scriptures says that iron sharpens iron.
Right.
So you there, you're not there, whoever is there is sharpening the other,
The other.
and doing what is needed to be done.
I agree.
Now, yeah, absolutely. So, and what's your husband's favorite meal?
The mother loves Nigerian food. I'll
Okay,
say
where is
any
in
of the
Nigeria?
any of the swallows, the swallow foods.
Yes,
He
yes.
definitely. I don't even want to pinpoint a favorite, but definitely he loves all the
Mm,
swallow foods.
okay,
Yes, yes. Anything
okay, okay.
swallow with soup.
Oh,
That's his
yes.
jam.
Okay. So, Mr. D, so
Yes.
is there any specific soup to go with
Ah,
your swallow
eh,
that
all of the above.
Okay,
He
okay,
loves every soup, every swallow,
okay.
As
and every tribe, but not specific to like, oh, Yoruba soup or
we can
Absolutely.
go to
just give
Yeah.
him soup and
we can
swallow.
go to the east or south and get fisherman
Ah,
soup.
yes,
Whatever,
yes.
everything
Nice.
is
And as you know, I'm a visionary woman, and one of the things I intend to do and I hope to do is to have video cooking sessions with African men specifically to learn to
I love that.
cook. Yeah, to learn to cook their own favorite soup, especially if they cannot cook it,
Yes.
and the wife's favorite soup, so you can
Mm.
actually surprise your wife. But because when we're talking about modern African marriages, the traditional goalpost of marriage is shifting. you know you never it's never going to be the same like our
Yes.
foreparents, like the way they
Yes.
did it when it's just the woman who has to
Mhm.
cook all the time. Imagine when your woman is pushing out the babies in the maternity, who gets to cook? Most
Right.
women will have to cook and stock the freezer. I mean, in those days, that's what we did, what used to happen. However, today, you can easily pay somebody to come and stock your
To come
freezer
and sort it
with.
out. Yes.
Yes. But sometimes you want that home cooked meal with your own touch, either of
Mm-hmm.
you. So you've got a long list of soups now, Damola. So we're not even going
Since he likes
to.
it all.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But I'm very, very positive and confident of your wife's ability to keep cooking and you keep eating.
Yeah.
And as you show up for her, she shows up for you in
Correct.
other
Yes.
areas of life. So now here is a question. In a world where men are often expected to lead, how did you embrace a partnership where your wife is so feasible and multifaceted? Have you ever felt challenged by outside expectation of manhood and cultural norms? And I think these are things that African men need to get a grip with. As your women or our females are going out and doing great and mighty things, they're shattering glass ceilings, they're kicking, in
yeah.
the boardroom. So that question is to you.
Absolutely, great question. Especially, like you said, a lot of women from what decades ago didn't were not doing things like this. Pretty male dominated
Yes.
industry and stuff like that. Even the industry she's in, it's a male dominated industry.
Mm,
It's not a lot of women. I can count how many women in my hands that are
mm,
female MCs that take on that type of task. So no,
mm,
I don't in any way feel to answer your question. What's the word you use? I don't feel challenged at all.
mm,
If anything, uh, because I'm proud, right? Because I know it's not an industry where there's a lot of women in it. So
mm,
for her to take that stance to say, you know what, I'm going to do this. To me, it's I just as the husband, I'm impressed and proud. I don't even know what word to use. It's because
mm.
it's not an easy thing to do to break into that
Mm.
field, and you're
Awesome.
one of the many women, one of the few women that do it. So I see it as not a challenge. I see it as a motivational factor, even for me personally, that I can do anything. I can be,
Mm,
it doesn't matter what the barrier is. It doesn't matter what it is. It motivates me to push on to be like, you know what? I can break barriers. I can. Doesn't matter what it is.
mm.
I'm not afraid. I can do things.
Amen.
So and which is one of the reasons why I support her. Again, sacrificing a lot of
Mm.
my time to support her because I'm so proud of her doing that and breaking that barrier, and I want to be a
Awesome.
part of that story, right? To
Mm,
know that I was there to help support that dream. I think it's a
mm.
big deal for me. So I see it as I'm extremely. She knows I might not say it all the time, but I'm extremely proud of her
Proud of her.
because not a lot of women, as you know, take that challenge. They get intimidated. Oh, it's a lot of men that
mm,
do this. I'm not going to do it. I'm not
mm,
going to be good enough. But
mm,
she took it, and from when she took that first mic to
mm,
now, it's just been blessing upon blessing,
mm.
she's
Amen.
really she loves it, excited. Again,
Mm,
we have one this weekend in Mexico, and we're excited to go. So it's now become, again, not it's not like I said, it's not like, oh, it's just work. No, we're actually excited. Like, she's
mm,
excited about every opportunity. She's got back from Dubai. That was a great trip. It was just, now it's more
mm,
of bigger and better opportunities. So just excited
mm.
about newer things coming up. So again, again, I don't see it as a challenge. I see it as just a motivation to break barriers, and I'm extremely proud to be a part of that.
Oh, I'm very proud of you, Damola. It's not every man, African men especially. I mean, that's as much as I know within my culture. I know African men, traditionally, all these traditional role, you know, but you've embraced this
Yeah.
stage, the process of your wife becoming, the person that she's ordained to become. And you are humble enough and not afraid to build alongside your wife, not necessarily above your wife. You're punching your own weight, you see, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you are happy because the key word is that you are proud of her success,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because her success is your success,
Yes.
and it always looks good on you. And when we
Yes.
think, in our culture, Yoruba will say, if you can think deep, you will know how to give thanks. You
Right.
know,
Yes.
in a sense, when you look at the position of women in the society, only when we kid ourselves will we say that women, are not to be reckoned with. Right from the time immemorial, right from even the Bible times. Look at the Proverb 31 woman. The Bible says that our husband is known in the gate. Our husband is known in the gate because she puts royal purple on him. She considers the field and buys it. So no man, the Proverb 31 man was not hindering the wife, to achieve all of our potential. And kudos to you, Damola.
Thank you.
And and indeed, you find God's favor
Yep.
when you.
Yes.
All glory to God.
Yes.
Amen. Amen. So let's move back on how you guys are navigating change together. You've both evolved from career shift to parenting and all of this traveling. And how have you managed to stay in sync as life keeps changing? How do you pull it back together? To sync, to be a unit, to keep that unity, even when there is rough patches and life is changing.
Absolutely. So I'll start off and I'll let her finish. For my end is just again, keeping God first, right? We can't do anything without God. Even on the trips, just a little ride from the house to the airport, we'll just do a short prayer for safe journeys going. Like, we always make sure we keep God first in every single thing that we do. So that's very important. Number one. Number two, prioritizing time, right? Like you said, we've evolved. You've been there from the beginning, Auntie, from when we were dating, even though uh, it,
I
it's
think
been,
we just lost a little
yes.
bit of transmission there.
Okay,
You're
yeah,
back.
sorry, yes.
It's
So
okay.
the again, you've been there from the beginning. Again, from dating, from to marriage to kids, it's all been just different things, right? Adding on to when me and her didn't have anybody, just me and her. We were selfish. We would do things for ourselves, and now being married and learning to be selfless, right?
Mm,
Which is that what it is, and then having kids and learning that, okay, it's not about you anymore. You have to think about your kids and going through that. and then careers and promotions and gaining jobs, losing jobs, gaining more jobs,
Mm.
and getting opportunities. Just going through ups and downs of life and being able to. But the key thing is again keeping God first in every area, and then just
Amen.
prioritizing our time very well. Like for example, I'm additional with supporting Sharon. I'm very involved in I'm into sports, just like I told you about my podcast coming to
Mm.
sports.
Yeah.
So I used to be a big sports person. I even played in college as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Jaden, your nephew, your grandnephew, whatever, he's just like me, an athlete. So I'm very involved
Yeah.
in his sports. He's extremely athletic. Plays basketball,
Mm.
plays football, soccer and all that. So I'm also his coach of his team, so I'm very involved in making
Mm.
sure I take him to
That's good.
practice, take him to games, while at the same time we're making sure that we sit in with them when they come back from school to do their homework, even after a busy day of work. So just prioritizing our time to make sure
Mm.
we not only spend time with each other on these trips,
Mm.
but we also spend a lot of
Mm.
quality time with the kids with their schoolwork and their sports and stuff that they enjoy, and spend family time. We always enjoy the weekends that we don't have anything. We try to make sure we go out with the kids and have fun with them, stuff. So just prioritizing time, and making sure each time is spent. Each time is precious, and we check each time to make sure not only us is spending time with each other, but also prioritizing time with the kids. And I think that's been huge. We have a schedule that we come up. Okay, this is what we're doing this week. This was the kids are gonna be when we travel, or if they come with us, that type of stuff. So again, just keeping God
Mm.
first and prioritizing time, I think has been, and communicating. Again, going back to communication, great
Mm.
communication and communicating.
Yes.
Next week
Yes.
Jaden has a game. Okay, I have to
Yeah.
fit my schedule, stuff like that. So
Mm.
And
Mm.
and also to add, I think finding joy in everything. We're very playful in general. And I don't think I realized
Mm.
how playful we are as a couple
Mm.
until we had our event last year. I think our 40th, our joint 40th. And the makeup
Yeah.
artist and the hairdresser in the room, they were like, "Man, you guys are so funny together." And that's when I realized, I was like, "Man, we really
That's
have been a
good.
very playful couple,"
Mm.
because they could see the synergy, the energy. They were just like, this
Mm.
family, everybody's just so goofy. But it's just finding joy at the center of it all, because life gets
That's it.
real. And
Yeah.
sometimes, the things that keeps us in sync will be that strategy of just having fun, like laughing,
Mm.
finding
Mm.
things to laugh about. We can make
Absolutely.
fun of any situation, like no matter
Mm.
how bad it
That's
is.
it.
We'll shall
Yeah.
find something to laugh about, like or
Yeah.
a character in that situation that was funny. So I think that
Mm.
also helped.
I love that. Have a good laugh. Have a good
Yes.
laugh.
Yes.
And one of my mantra is the YOLO. You only live once. You
Absolutely.
know, and sometimes even if there's nobody there to laugh with me, like we both live busy life. My husband more busy now than me, because I'm in that stage of life where rest is important. So I'll just put some TikTok or comedy or something on, and I could just watch Trevor Noah, Kevin Hart, and just laugh my heart out. Laughter is great, and when you can laugh with your
absolutely.
best
Mm-hmm.
friend, even with serious issues of life, half the battle is solved.
Yep,
So, and looking at what you said, and I haven't watched you for some years, I can see that you are hands-on parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you're doing with those kids,
Yes.
getting involved in things. So the parenthood, your family culture, your legacy, what sort of values do you try to pass on to your kids as an African parent,
Mm-hmm.
or as African parents raising children in the diaspora? And what legacy, do you hope to build together, not just as an individual, but as a team together?
Okay. For values, I'll say faith. We want them to know God. We want them to be, godly children, to fear God, to believe in, to know that Jesus Christ is the one true source. So that is huge. So faith
Amen.
is one. I think character is another one. We try to teach them about kindness, integrity, humility. Those kind of basic. No, those are not basic. Those are huge. Those
Mm,
huge characters of life. Letting them understand how to treat people, how to speak to people politely, and things like that. And then courage, we want them to believe in themselves, to know that they can achieve anything that they want to achieve, like to just
Mm,
trust their own power and know that they are enough
mm,
to achieve that thing. Like for instance, like our son was struggling with a particular class, and we just kind of imbibed that strength of courage in him and letting him know that all you got to do is just study. If you study and understand the work, you can succeed in it. And now he
that's
has an
it.
A. He has an A in the class, so it's just that
Mm,
courage, putting that into them. And then there was a
mm.
second part to the question.
And then
Your
I'll add a little bit to it.
legacy. Yeah.
Legacy, yes. So I'll
Mm,
add a little bit to what she said. One other thing is, other than than the faith and success in life and all that, is, and I've learned this even as a parent, 'cause I'm still learning, is teaching them that it's okay to fail,
mm,
right? Because I've failed in every area you could think about, but by failing I've become a stronger human being, a
mm,
stronger father, a stronger husband, a stronger son, brother, whatever, a stronger individual overall by failing, by losing out on some business stuff and learning
mm,
from my mistakes and getting better now and all that type of stuff. So, and I'll give you a good example. And coaching his basketball team, right? This year, it was my first time doing that. I got to see him. He's extremely good, even better than a lot of his peers. And
mm,
then the days that his shots are not falling or he's not doing very well, you can see it in his face. He's
mm,
extremely disappointed. He's actually affecting the rest of the day as he plays, even into when we go home, because you can just see he doesn't understand that. How come yesterday I scored 30 points? How come today I only have 4 points? So he's extremely down. He's extremely. So I try to
mm,
explain to him that, do you understand? Even the so-called athletes that you're seeing on TV, they have bad
mm.
days. They have days that they drop 30 points. They have days that the next day they
Absolute.
drop 2 points. So it's not
Mm.
always going to be rosy every day, because
Rosie.
he's young. So in
Mm.
his mind, he's like, oh, I'm always going to be dropping 30 points every day. No, it doesn't work that way. So just explain
Mm,
to him, even at that level, that it's okay to go through storms and fail, as long
mm.
as you see the issues or mistakes that you made and you fix it
You
and you move
learn from
forward.
it.
You learn from it, exactly. So
Mm,
that's one
mm.
huge thing I'm teaching him,
That's great.
and our daughter as well. So that has been good.
That's great. That's great. So, what is that one single legacy? If you don't have
Legacy.
it, put together yet, that's fine. We're all work in progress, especially in a relationship. And the two of you, you're a unit and you work together very well as a
Yes.
team.
Yes.
Do you have a legacy that you hope to build together, as a team?
Mm-hmm.
And what's
Um.
that?
Yes. Okay. So for me, individually, before I talk about the team legacy, I definitely want to be remembered as somebody who made people feel seen, who made people feel
Mm,
heard and valued, somebody who walked boldly in her calling and created space for others to do the same, because, we rise by lifting others. So I also
mm,
want to create a space for others to be able to walk in those shoes and footsteps. So, and then on the home front and together, we want our legacy to reflect love, and excellence. We want our children to be able to say, mommy just didn't talk about her dreams. Mommy, man, she really chased her dreams. Wow, daddy really did all these businesses. Like he really just went for it. So, we want to leave we just want we want our children to see the, and I know they're seeing it because sometimes they follow us to these
mm,
events and they're seeing their mom on the
mm.
mic, or they're seeing their dad running a business, or, or successfully implementing something, in his person, in his work life. So I hope that they're seeing that we're living our dreams and we're chasing them.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And that's the best form of legacy that we can leave for our children.
Yes.
That will last for, another generation and more to come.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So there are a couple of questions and we can wrap it up.
Okay.
Sorry, we're running a little
Oh,
bit
no worries.
more than, well, I'm enjoying this
We
chat.
really are.
And I think we're going to have a part 2. I don't mind to stay up to midnight, even with the time change,
Right.
time difference, across the pond.
Hmm.
So this question I have for you, having started from where you started from, Nigeria, then the America, living the American dream, and you now see young couples coming from other parts of the world, doesn't have to be Nigeria, could be anywhere else, and you see the way life is today. What is the message you will both like to leave for other couples, especially those who are struggling to work together as a team in marriage?
That's a big one. Um, One thing that I would like to say to these couples, if I could pass on a message to them, is that life will pull you in 1,000 directions, career, kids, challenges, dreams, and then being an immigrant or, living in a different country. But never forget that your relationship is not just, another thing on the to-do list. It's the foundation. So we would advise
Mm,
them to continue to choose each other, to keep
mm,
open communication and pray. Christ is the center of it all. We've gone through
mm,
some crazy storms, and all we had was God in those times,
mm,
and He got us through those times. So, just keep laughing and keep
mm.
forgiving.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. I love that. There is so many quotable quotes that you've said tonight. Between
Thank you.
the between the both of you, I think my journal will be so full when
Oh,
after this conversation. I
yes.
really love what you said. So
Thank
keep
you.
choosing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Keep choosing each other. And what I love the most in what you've just said, Sheung, is the fact that your relationship is not another to-do list.
Yes.
The person you're doing life with, that's your life. Everything else, is on another list.
Mm-hmm.
When I think about the word priority, I realize that priority is not in plural.
Mm-hmm.
When priority changes to plural, it does not fit into priority anymore. You
Yes.
know, the person you're doing life with is your priority, and that's life. So it's not another to-do list on the long list of priorities. Keep
Mm-hmm.
choosing each other. I like that.
Yes, absolutely.
And as a man, what advice will you give to men who are struggling to build alongside their women, who want to build on top of the women? Like we normally hear in wedding ceremony, the woman is to be by your side, walk side by side with you, because she's taking from your heart, from your ribs.
Rivers, yeah.
Your ribs are on your side. It's not, under your foot to be trampled upon. What advice will you give to men who find it hard to see their women as their equal, especially in modern African marriages, which I imagine because traditional goalposts are shifting fast?
Absolutely. Great question, honestly. And, again, using my story, I'm not an expert in this, but just using my experience that I've had since I've been with my wife here over, 15 years, is I saw that, right, from the beginning, right? I saw her not start, especially from marriage, right? She didn't, she thinks she started the MCing a little bit after, but just the regular dynamics of 9 to 5. I'm the head of the house. She's doing her thing as well, and all that. And then she gets back into this, and I saw how she's evolved with it. So what I did was, I guess, what advice I can give is, again, my story. Each story is different in each couple's lives, whatever. But again, what helped me to easily transition into it and not really have much of a problem is our communication. I keep going back to that, where each other's, just like she said, we like to laugh and gossip and all that type of stuff. So we've had great communication from the beginning, that we're each other's best friend. And it was so easy to, when she got into this, for me to, again, because me too, I'm a I believe in helping people I, achieve their dreams, right? Like, for example, if I feel like if I had a dream to become a superstar, I would want my wife to support me, right?
Mm,
To
mm,
if I, for example, this podcast I'm trying to do and it blows up, I would want her
mm,
naturally
mm,
to believe in my dreams.
mm-hmm.
So who am I not to believe in her dreams, right? So
Do
I think
unto others.
doing to, yeah,
Yes.
that's the way I see it. So just
Mm,
being selfless and seeing that, and it's just like I gave the
mm,
example earlier, seeing that look, her being what she is not to trump you. See it as a blessing, not only for herself but for you as well. Because now I
mm,
see it as an enjoyment. I see it
mm,
as, oh, I got to go to Mexico and have fun with her while she's what are you talking
mm.
about? So I've
I
now
wish,
you
wish
know,
I'm coming.
so again, that's just an example to show I've now
Yeah.
put it as part of my life as
Mm,
not only am I supporting her, but I also see it as a way to spend time with her out of our busy
mm,
schedule for us to kind of spend time with each other. And like I said, I keep using the word date night. I see it as we're spending time with. So
mm,
again, so the advice I can give people like that is see her dream, believe in it, and you to be a part of it.
mm,
Because I think what happens sometimes, some of these women they get into something and they're not including their husbands. That already has an issue with it, right? Already has an issue that, oh, you're always not around, But if you include them, let them be a part of it. Another example, all the videos that you see that she does online, I do those videos from my phone.
of course,
I
yeah.
do all this, so everything. So I'm a part of her dream, right?
Mm,
When we go to Mexico this weekend, I'm gonna take my phone and record everything, and then she's gonna take it and edit it. So guess what? We've now kind of made it a business together in a way.
mm.
So
Yep,
she's
absolutely.
put me as part of it, and that makes
Mm,
me feel included. So of course I'm going to
yes.
continue to support her. So I think that's the
Mm,
advice I'll give the women and the men to just be a part of that business, even though you're not you're feeling like, oh, she's got all the no, have
mm,
do something where you can be a part of it. And I think that has brought more joy to me than being feeling like I'm excluded. Being
mm.
inclusive has made me even more want to support her more and more.
Yeah, because inclusivity opens the door for sense of responsibility.
Yes,
If you're not included, you don't feel
like
part
you're a
of it.
part of it. Exactly.
You're outside of it, and then so
Yes.
you don't lift a finger.
Yes.
But again, even as women, we're very complex.
Yeah.
I am, and I know that. But
Yeah.
that's the way I'm wired, or we're wired. Even if I don't include you, I expect you to join in. And
Yes.
I think that's another dimension because you're readily available. You see it as our projects.
Yes.
You don't
Absolutely.
see it as our
Her
thing because
project. Yes.
yeah, you join in,
Yes.
while this thing is getting off the ground. You don't wait for it to become a success story
Yes.
before you're
Before you
part
now
of
say,
it.
"Oh, here I am."
You, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that's a key thing. So not fragmenting each other's dream,
Yeah.
embracing one another, each other's dream,
Yes.
and adopting it as your own. So
Absolutely.
you can keep fanning the flame,
Yes.
into fire. So thank you for that. And last but not the least of this question, it's a personal one for the two of you. You've chosen each other. You've loved us so well. You've loved each other so well. And what has loving each other and choosing each other taught you about yourselves?
Hmm. That is a loaded question. I think you see yourself in your partner after a while. So choosing him has taught me patience. It has taught me sacrifice. Um, I'll say patience and sacrifice. Those are the two that stand out.
Yep.
Good point.
And
Yeah.
choosing her along with those two guys, those are huge. Patient sacrifice. I think is just prioritizing time. Remember, I keep bringing that up. That is huge because we're alike in a lot of ways where we laugh and stuff, but we're also opposite in some things. She's more of a
Mm,
time person. Like we have to go to the airport, we have to go 3 hours before. I'm like, no, I have to go an hour before. So I've learned after I missed the flight a couple of times, I've learned, okay, maybe I need to get to the airport 2 hours, 3 hours
Mm,
before, that type of stuff. So you
mm,
learn a lot about yourself. Is what
mm.
I realized, in dating and getting married. I learned so much about myself. I see a lot of issues that I have that I never thought I had. When she brings it out, I'm able to see it that, oh man,
Mm,
I really need to work on this. So I've learned so
mm,
much about myself, and things that I need to work on my by being with her. So that has been,
mm.
that's changed me. I've become,
Wow.
a better husband, a better father, and
Mm,
things that
mm.
I might not be as good at. Like for example, I'll give you a
Wow.
great example during COVID. COVID, by
Mm,
the way, Auntie, as you know, exposed a lot of couples. Uh,
mm,
and not trying to talk about nobody's business, but I have to be honest here. There were some couples that got married around the time we got married that got divorced after COVID. There were a lot that are still together. And because I think what COVID did was everybody was in the house together for a long time, and they were able to really see each other, and see, oh man, I can't really tolerate this person, or I can, whatever. But during COVID, it was actually me and her got even stronger. Again, having that friendship, being selfless and stuff like that. We were able to create a routine of things to do every day and walk, each day. And even though we were cooped together and all that type of stuff. So I think just that really just, again, communicating with each other, learning a lot about each other, learning a lot about yourself, and your faults, and learning to be better and all that type of stuff. That's kind of like, what it
mm.
for me.
Wow. So deep. So deep. Thank you for those answers. I really, really love those answers. And I think that might be a topic of discussion on its own. Because sometimes we can be tunnel visioned,
Yep.
in relationship, and we don't see ourselves. Even though we're standing in front of the mirror, we still can't see it.
Yep.
But when you choose your partner, you follow their directives, you turn up to the airport 3 hours early, you actually see that not turning up, it's not serving you.
Yep.
You see yourself, you see that behavior or the habit, and you choose them not because they've commanded you to, but because you've chosen them. Like we
Yes.
said earlier on, preferring one another. And
Mm-hmm.
perhaps, there is sense in the midst of uh the methods,
Mm-hmm.
what they are trying to graft you on to do. So, this is a conversation that we've had tonight. What a conversation. And as I wrap it up, I want to say thank you for turning up tonight and for blessing us and the listeners wherever they are. I want to say that your story today has reminded us that behind many powerful African women in the diaspora is not just hustle, it is a healthy support. And in your case, a vibrant, attentive, inclusive, and loving husband who is choosing his wife every day. Our guest is a proof, or our guests, both of you, you are proof that you can wear so many hats and
Mm-hmm.
still wear joy, especially when your circle uplifts you and when your partner works with you,
Mm-hmm.
not behind you. And as we reflect on the African women's journey abroad in this series on this podcast, let this story remind us of what's possible when love and legacy walk hand in hand. And start individually. We are very, very smart individually, but brilliant together. Thank you for listening to Bao, where our voices rise, our stories shine, and our journeys are never walked alone. So thank you to my guests tonight, Sheung and
Thank you.
Thank
Damola.
you, Auntie. This was beautiful. We had a blast.
Great
Thank
time. Thank
you.
you so much.
Uh,
Thank you.
Thank you, and so do I. It's nice to have you tonight. So thank you. Go and have a rest after your
Yeah.
full day work. Have a lovely evening and give my love to the babies.
Yes,
We
we
will.
will. We love you and have a
Love
Love
you.
you
blessed
all.
night.
Love you too. Thank you.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye.